sentence might be reduced.
I'm talking about getting out of here now.
Prisoners have been released for cooperating fully with the authorities, but you've hardly done that yet, have you?
I've told you about Porno Jack.
Who's already serving a 2-year sentence. I think you're wasting my time, Starkey.
Yeah. What about the people he was bunging? They're still out?
Yes, but you don't have their names.
I've got names, all right.
Yes?
And you being in the job with them, you'll soon nick 'em, won't you?
What do you think my colleague is doing?
Getting it down, isn't he?
That's right. Every complaint you make will be investigated privately by our department, but I don't have all day.
A lot of the money Jack was getting for that porno stuff, he was putting it out to a fella called Mackie.
Rank?
CID Super.
Joseph Mackie?
That's him.
Did you yourself see money passed to Superintendent Mackie?
No. But see, Jack was fly. He doesn't just have that studio where he made the home movies rigged up. He had another telly camera up at his home.
So where are the videotapes?
Oh, you look. You'll find them. And you won't just nick Mackie. There's 2 of them in it.
Does the other one have a name?
Yeah. A fella called Lewis. CID Inspector. Nick Lewis.
Well, right away. No, sir, nothing that can't wait. Yes, sir, right away. The commander, got to go and see him.
Is that good news or bad?
Now, he's probably querying my expenses. Maybe he wants to move me out of this cozy little billet.
Would you like that?
Well, I'd be heartbroken. I've grown accustomed to your face. I never knew commanders got in at this time of the morning.
Hello?
There's a Chief Inspector Lowson to see you, miss. He's been checked in.
Okay, send him up, please. Good morning.
Good morning. Where's Nick off to?
He's gone to see his boss, the commander. Why?
Nothing. I just saw him leaving.
Miss Burton?
Yes, that's right, Inspector. Can I help you?
It's official business.
Oh, this is Phil Strong. He's our scientific officer.
Private official business.
Well, if I'm not wanted, I'll be down in the lab then.
I'm afraid I decide what is private in this office, Mr. Lowson.
Not on this occasion, Miss Burton. It's a requisition for some evidential material you're holding and signed by the Assistant Commissioner. If you want to check with him about it being a private matter, you can do. But I don't advise it.
May I ask what district you're from, Inspector?
No, Miss Burton, you may not.
I see. Well, if you'll come with me, I'll show you the items.
Have you been through the material yourself?
I go through all the evidential material myself.
I believe there are some video cassettes in it.
They're all listed.
Naughty Nina, Sweet 16 in Swedish. 17 was your letter low. You made some foreign tapes as well.
Isn't that how your people got onto him?
I didn't handle the case. Are these the cassettes?
They're all together, and there are 8 of them.
I'll check that. No need to wait about it, Miss Burton. I'll bring them up to the office.
Thank you.
Well, it wasn't X's.
No?
Oh, more of a social chat. How am I finding it here, and is the workload too heavy? I thought at first he was going to give me some staff, but no chance. Oh, there is one thing. Could you check out a car number for me?
Of course. What is it, stolen?
Well, it could be. N November, VH, 383P. Maybe I'm over-suspicious, or when people use all the same back doubles I use, and I get curious.
Well, I'm afraid your curiosity isn't going to be satisfied.
Well, why not?
The number's classified.
Classified? You mean it's one of ours?
Yes. Nick, have you been treading on anybody's toes lately? Anybody important, I mean.
Well, why do you ask that?
If they're following your car.
Well, it's happened to me before.
Recently?
Oh, a year or so back when my boss was under suspicion. They had a couple of whiz kids from the complaints department following us about.
Yes?
Is Nick back yet?
Yes, he's here.
Could you ask him if he can spare a minute?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, why should they follow me over to see my own commander? That's very strange. What does he want?
I don't know.
Oh. So what's it all about?
I was hoping you'd tell me.
Oh, yes?
Want a coffee?
Thank you.
Help yourself. Do you know a fella called Lowson, a DCI?
No, can't say I do.
I was hoping you might.
What's the mystery?
Didn't Kate tell you?
No, I've just got back from the yard.
Yeah, no, I saw you leaving. And Lowson's mate followed you in a blue Hunter.
I'll go on.
Very private, Lowson wanted it to be. But for your information, he was interested in a bloke called John Blandy.
Oh, that's Jack the Swede. Porno Jack.
You know him, then?
Well, yes, I know Jack. He's doing a two-stretch.
Name like that, he should be.
Hey, he got 2 years for making videotapes for continental audiences.
I thought that was a legitimate business nowadays.
Yeah, but he forgot to check the birth certificates of some of his leading ladies.
What do you mean, children?
No, a couple of 15-year-olds. They've been about. Well, they don't give up, do they?
Some go straight, give them time.
No, I'm talking about this mob up at the yard, the Complaints Investigation Bureau.
The what?
CIB, to you.
So far, all you've got is the word of a convicted thief. And if you've checked with records, you'll know that on 2 occasions he was arrested by Lewis.
I know, sir. That's why we haven't applied for Chief Inspector Lewis to be suspended.
I've seen your commander. I've given him my confidential report on Lewis. I've told him you'll get full cooperation from me.
That's very good of you, sir.
Is it? I just happen to have that much confidence in Lewis.
Could be stirring up for you from inside the neck.
Oh, no, Jack, there's no reason to. I didn't pull him.
Somebody must have lit a fuse.
Yes, but not for me. My governor was a good mate of Jack's.
Superintendent Mackie.
Yeah, that's right. You see, the bright boys at CIB tried to nail Joe Mackie, but they didn't get away with it. So maybe they got the needle, now they're trying to fit him up another way.
Did he do anything they could have him for?
Well, if he did, I wouldn't tell him.
Could get a bit unpleasant for you, Nick, couldn't it?
Oh, Joe Mackie's left the job. Easier to fix me, isn't it?
Chief Inspector Lowson here again, sir. I believe there's another convicted prisoner in your charge, may be able to help us with our investigations. His name is Manton. Henry Manton. I could see him this afternoon, if that's possible. Yes. Thank you.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
Kate,
Yes?
what did he want to see?
Who?
Inspector Lowson.
I was told to keep the business private.
I see. Well, thank you.
I don't know whether you remember the Blandy case. John Blandy.
Some of it.
I checked through our list of evidential material this morning. The videotapes aren't there. Seems that Lowson signed them out to a department of the yard.
Oh, that's odd.
Yes.
Well, maybe he's fixing up a free film show for the lads. Well, why should he? They've already seen him. Oh, hello, Mr. Mackie, please. Yeah, that's right, security. Hello, Joe. Yeah, it's Nick Lewis here. Yeah, never better. And you? Oh, that's good. Look, Joe, you doing anything tonight? No. I just thought you could come round and have a bite to eat with us. Yep, that's good. Any time after 7. Yeah, same address. I'll see you, pal. Cheers.
Nick, do you think that's wise?
Why?
If there's a car following you.
So they find 2 old colleagues having a bit of dinner together. Now, of course, if they want to take that as a declaration of war, that's up to them.
Nick Lewis? Yeah. What about him?
He arrested you for this offence.
So?
So we'd like to know, in confidence, what you know about his relationship with John Blandy. You'd know him as Porno Jack.
Well, I used to drink with him.
You're sure of that?
Of course I'm sure of it. So what?
You're saying that Inspector Lewis and John Blandy were drinking companions?
Yeah. And half the filth out of Savile Row. Jack was a good spender.
Did you see Inspector Lewis take money from him?
Oh, leave off, will you? How long have you been in the job?
Why?
Well, if you'd been in the job 5 minutes, you'd know the strength, wouldn't you?
What strength?
God, give us patience. Who do you do your boozing with, mate?
I don't drink.
Look, all your mob and all my mob, we do our socialising together because respectable people get a bit uppity when we're about.
I don't think this is relevant.
Ask you a question, please, Gav.
What?
What are you trying to stitch Nick Lewis up for?
Well, I suppose you want a drink.
Of course I'll have a drink. What do you think I came for? And young Liz. You're a woman now.
It's been a long time, Mr. Mackie.
Yes, it is, Ben. You're looking lovely.
Thank you.
Oh, say when.
Just don't drown then. So, you're the cook now, Liz.
Yes, and I'm the washer-upper. Here you are, Joe.
Eat in 10 minutes.
I'll make it 20.
Boozer.
You're quite right. Cheers.
Cheers.
Sit down.
20 minutes, Nick, for a hungry man like you, so must be something important.
Big Brother started watching me again.
What, the A10 lot? Or what is it now, CIB?
Yeah, same mob, different name.
You been doing anything silly, Nick?
Oh, not that way, no. I chanced my arm in a case a couple of weeks back, but it can't be that.
So what is it?
Jack Blandy.
Blandy, he's inside, is he?
Right. So this morning, they turn over his stuff in the prisoner's property stores and take off with those video cassettes he got nicked for.
So they must have bought a video player for the CIB restroom.
Well, that mob leave off, Joe. Look, what do we use VCR equipment for in the job?
Traffic monitoring, embassy security, surveillance. Surveillance? So, who would Jack Blandy be watching?
And where was the camera?
Why do you say that?
Well, he had 2 of those cameras in the warehouse where he did the recordings. Now, suppose he had another one in his drum.
So what have he had?
Well, we've all been round to private film shows at his place.
Is that against the law?
But when the fella's doing time for the job, And senior members of the CID is ours. Guess what? Come on, Joe.
Well, it can't affect me anymore, but wouldn't do you a lot of good.
So I'm going to do something about it.
Like what?
Well, the cassettes they found at the stores and took away, they were Jack's the usual line of rubbish. Now, if there were any others, they wouldn't be there. I'm going to find out where they are.
Look, if Jack Blandy had got anything on any of the lads, don't you think he'd have used it when they pulled him?
Well, perhaps he tried to.
No, Nick, he didn't.
You sure?
Yeah. I didn't work on the porno squad, as you know, but I have talked to them quite a bit over the odd jar. No, I reckon A10, CIB, have just got a bee in their bonnet about something. They'll soon get tired of it and when they get bored, you know.
What did you do when they were trying to carve you up?
I certainly didn't try to make it worse for myself.
So how much worse can it get? This morning they've got a tail on my car. By tomorrow morning they'll have the phone routed to that place in Chelsea, if they haven't tapped it already. So what do? Wait till they bug this place and start intercepting my daughter's mail?
Nick, this isn't as important as all that.
Well, maybe not for them, but it is for me.
Hell, man, you're getting paranoid in your old
Well, look,
age.
Joe, there's two things I can do about this. Now, one is to chuck my warrant card in and get a job with the people I work with. Trust me.
Well, I haven't regretted it.
Yes, but I like my job too much to do that.
So, you're going to do what?
Well, I told you. If those tapes exist, I'm going to find them.
And do what with them?
I don't know. Yet.
Any idea where to start looking, have you?
Good Lord. Nick Lewis.
Hello, Becky. Can I come in?
Of course you can. We'll find the place a bit quieter with Jack away, though.
Yes, I'm sure. Well, how is he?
Oh, you know Jack. The eternal optimist. He hopes to be out by next June. I don't know why. The place they put him in is a right little holiday camp. Hey, sit down. Can I get you a coffee? Or
No, thank you, Becky.
Ah. Business.
In a way, yes.
About Jack?
Yes.
Nick. You know he never let me know anything about his work.
What, never?
Cross my heart. Perhaps he thought I wouldn't approve of how he made his living. I don't know. Funny bloke, my Jack.
Well, I think there's one thing you could tell me.
Go on.
Well, there's a rumor going about that he had this place fitted up as a sort of secondary film studio.
It's not true, Nick.
Are you quite sure?
I'm positive. I wouldn't have let him. He did have a thing in the office, of course.
Well, what thing?
I'll show you.
Well, I've never been in here.
I didn't come in often myself. Is this what you mean?
Now, where's the camera?
There's an old mill by the stream. This inkwell thing's the microphone.
When they arrested Jack, did they take the video cassettes away with them?
Well, they didn't come in here. I think they found enough to keep them busy down at the studio.
So where are the cassettes, Becky?
Well, not in any of his drawers, I can tell you that. Nick, if it is important, I can ask Jack for you when I see him.
Would he tell you?
He might. He likes you.
Well, it's not important for me, Becky, but it could be for some people.
The people who have been here before.
Yeah, too bright, Becky. That's your trouble. Well, come on, I'll take you to lunch.
Have I earned it?
Yes, you've made an old man very happy. You married a bad one, you did.
been out for a meal since Jack got captured. That was smashing, Nick.
Like I said, you've done me a favour. Well, come on, I'll take you home.
Oh, no. While I'm in town, I might as well have a look round the shops. Bye-bye, Nick.
Bye-bye. Oh, Becky?
Oh. I was thinking...
Yeah?
Those cassettes.
What about them?
If Jack did want to keep them safe, he'd have left them with Elvira.
Who's Elvira?
Well, she's the girl who used to run the stuff across the continent for him.
And where does she live?
I don't really know, but somebody told me she'd gone back to the old job.
Elvira? Yes, Chad. No, I don't know her surname. Yeah, well, hang on a minute. I might be able to get a bit more information on her. Yeah, or I might not. Well, look, you can put the word out among the lads, can't you? Good. Well, thanks a lot, pal. Nothing?
2 Elviras. One is a 62-year-old professional shoplifter, and the other one did 2 sentences in Holloway for credit card offences.
Well, what's wrong with her?
She's got 4 children.
So?
And an artificial leg.
Oh, well, that's unlikely, I suppose, yeah.
What about the officer who arrested Blandy?
He's retired. Anyway, there's no mention of any Elvira in the case files. I think I'll have another word with Becky.
Who's Becky?
She's a friend of mine.
Police.
Oh, come on, Phil.
I can't, Nick. I'm going on leave.
Well, when are you going?
5:30, half an hour's time. Just for 3 days.
Well, you don't do badly in your job. What are you going to do?
Sit around, meditate, play with a Lego set, all that sort of thing, you know?
Well, look,
Hello? Oh, yes. OK, will do. There's some people to see upstairs, Nick.
I'd like the use of your office for a few minutes, Miss Burton. Do you mind?
No. No, of course not. I have to go down to the stores anyway.
I'll be leaving shortly, but Mr. Lowson will be staying in the office to check a few things. I'm sure you'll cooperate with him.
Of course.
Thank you, Miss Burton.
Oh, thank you, Kate.
Come in, Lewis.
Sir?
You took John Blandy's wife out to lunch today.
Yes, sir.
Why?
Why do I have to tell you in public, sir?
This is Chief Inspector Lowson. The complaint has been made against you. He's investigating it. Answer the question, Lewis.
Well, I don't see that I have to, sir. I took her in my own time. I paid out of my own pocket.
And while you were entertaining her for 2 hours, her flat was turned over.
Well, that's nothing to do with me, sir.
So, in that case, you can answer the question.
Oh, didn't Mrs. Blandy answer it for you?
Don't come the acid with me, Lewis. I want an answer.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir. It was private business. I don't see that you've any right to ask me about it.
I see. In that case, you'll give me no alternative but to put you on suspension until Chief Inspector Lowson finishes his investigation.
Well, I'll just get some things from my desk.
That isn't your desk. Not any longer. Chief Inspector Lowson will make an inventory of the contents. Your private things will be returned to you at home. I'll take your warrant card now. And your official diary.
Could be just some case he's working on.
No, that's not the way they were playing it. And I've been told to cooperate with that Lowson.
Glad I'm going on leave. Might be all over by Monday.
I doubt it.
Hello. Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Will do. The commander wants to see you in your office. Kate, I could put off this leave, you know.
Thanks, Phil. But I think I'll manage.
Miss Burton, thanks for the use of your office.
That's Mr. Lewis's private property.
They'll all be returned to him. For the moment, Mr. Lewis is not on duty here.
May I ask why, sir?
For the moment, I want you to help Chief Inspector Lowson. I've arranged for a replacement for Mr. Lewis to take over on Friday. Excuse me.
Early.
6 o'clock. Didn't you stay for a drink?
No, I didn't stay.
Something's up, isn't it?
Sort of.
Anything I can do?
No, love. Yes, there is one thing.
Yeah?
I've got somebody coming around later. Could you eat out?
Sure. Be a change.
Oh, thank you.
Sure there's nothing I can do?
No. There's enough people doing things without you.
Hello, Phil.
Oh, hello, love.
Thanks for coming.
Don't mention it. Right, to what do I owe the pleasure?
Thought I'd see how the other half lives. Isn't this the place they call the Dosser's Rest?
No, that's on the other side of the road. This is called the Chain Locker. Gets a bit noisy later. Do you want a drink?
Oh, no thanks.
Social call?
Sort of.
Has my rustic northern charm finally got through to your tender young heart? Or do you just want a tongue butty? You sure you don't want to drink, though?
Yeah. I'm really after a bit of information.
About your dad, you mean?
What's going on, Phil?
Hasn't he told you?
No.
Well, wouldn't really be right for me to tell you, would it?
I thought I'd get that as an answer.
I'm sorry, Liz.
I could press him, and he'd tell me, but we haven't got that sort of relationship. We get on well together because we've both got lines that the other one doesn't cross. Do you know what I mean?
No. Come on, love, have a butty, eh?
So I decided to ask you instead. Do you know Superintendent Mackie?
No, not personally, no.
It's got nothing to do with him, has it?
Sort of. And others.
What others?
Well, I've put in a report to my chief, sir. We've run through all the video cassettes, but it's just the usual filth.
So if the rest were at Blandy's place, they're not there now. What about Lewis?
I have nothing relevant amongst his papers, sir.
I didn't think there would be. What are you going to do, then?
I've put in a request for Blandy to be brought up for interview.
He's agreed.
He'll be arriving tomorrow afternoon.
Let me know when he gets here.
Yes, sir.
Good night.
Good night, sir.
I didn't think I was that hungry.
You want some more?
Just some more answers.
Look, well, there's this outfit at the yard. They call it, well, it's like a cross between the Star Chamber and the Moral Rearmament Movement. They investigate all complaints against the police, you know? Sort of thing like who's been taking too much dropsy, who's having off with too many villains' wives.
The A10 department?
Yeah, used to be, yeah.
And they want Dad to join it. Yes, I don't suppose he would like that very much. He's got a thing about snoops.
No, Liz, they don't want your dad to join it.
You mean they're investigating my father?
Don't get upset, love. They've got to investigate somebody, otherwise they'll have to go back to earning a living. Just happens that Nick's name came out of the hat.
But my father's no crook.
Of course he's not. Never heard you call him father before. Right.
Where are you going?
I've got one or two things to arrange. Can I give you a lift home?
Oh, no thanks. I'm meeting some friends. Thanks for listening, Phil.
I'm like that. I've got a big shoulder to cry on.
And don't worry. I won't tell Nick about our little chat.
Oh, I shouldn't do. Only hurt his feelings, wouldn't it?
You're a damn fool.
Why?
Well, if he did have a camera in his office and you've never been in there, what the hell have they got against you?
What do you think about it, Joe? Let's say I told them. What's their first question going to be?
Oh, what?
Well, they're going to ask me why I'm so interested in Jack's tapes. And don't forget the place was screwed while I was conveniently taking Becky out to lunch, so I've got an accomplice, haven't I?
Liz?
No?
Hi, Nick. I want to pop round. It was in the manor, you know?
I'll come in. Joe, this is Phil Strong. He works with me. This is Joe Mackie.
Oh, Superintendent Mackie.
What? Yes, you heard me?
Yes, Nick has mentioned, yeah.
Do you want a beer, Phil?
Oh, yes, smashing. Tough.
Oh. Oh, you're not in the job yourself?
No, Home Office. Can't you tell?
Not just by looking, no.
You heard the news?
Yeah, Kate told me. How long for?
Well, that they do not tell you.
So what are you going to do?
I'll sit about and meditate, play with my Lego set. You got any better suggestions?
Play Find the Lady. Can't be many brasses with a name like that round Soho.
Nick, would you fill me in on this?
Well, there's a bit of chat from Becky. She thinks that if Jack had got any tapes, he'd have stashed them with a bird called Elvira. Ring any bells with you?
Should it?
Well, she was Jack's runner.
I didn't know he had one.
Well, apparently. Well, I'll give it a try, Phil. Got nothing better to do, have I?
I thought we'd split it up at Old Compton Street. You to the north, I'll to the south. Or vice versa.
You're on leave.
That's right. What a smashing way to spend it. Very good.
Come in.
Elvira?
The one and only. You haven't been here before, have you?
No.
Well, we'll have to make sure you come again then, won't we?
I think you've got something I want, Elvira.
Oh, just wait. You won't believe it.
Something that Jack Blandy left with you.
Jack Blandy.
That's right, Jack the Swede, remember?
Don't think I know him. Are you Law?
Yes, Nick Lewis. I was a friend of Jack's.
Well, I wasn't.
This doesn't have to be done the hard way, Elvira.
What does that mean?
Well, work it out. You've got a nice place here, but don't think we couldn't close it down.
What do you want?
Well, before Jack was pulled, he gave some video cassettes to you, didn't he?
Did he?
Well, I'd like to see them.
I've got lots of cassettes. The customers like them. Over there by the box. Of course, if you nick me having them, and I don't think you can because this is a private house.
But if I nick you what?
Then I might remember where I put the tapes that Jack told me to be very, very careful with.
Oh, you might.
Yes. Because if I did have them, they'd be worth money, wouldn't they?
You want me to go away and get a warrant, do you?
Do that if you like, but you'd do better with a few quid on the table.
30.
What do you think this is? Charity week?
Well, how much?
2.
2 ton.
If you're on one of those tapes, mate, it'll be worth it to you.
I'll give you a check.
Do us a favour.
Okay, you staying here?
I work here, don't I?
Yes, well, don't knock yourself out. I'll be back.
Come in.
I'm not going to hurt you. Or I might just break your neck. You got the message?
But I am being cooperative. Now, look, I let you bring me down here without my brief or anything. Now, that's got to be worth a month off for behaviour outside the cause of duty.
I got the report here of the interrogation made when you were arrested. Why didn't you tell us about the other camera, the one in your office at home?
Never asked, was I? Anyway, it was a legitimate business installation.
Legitimate?
Yeah. I'm not like you fellas. I don't go in for bugging the Mother of Parliaments or sticking hidden cameras in the Ruritanian embassy. No, every businessman likes to have a record of what's been said and done. I just like mine on videotape, and that's it.
That's how you see yourself, is it, a businessman?
Yeah. Of a special sort, yeah.
A special sort?
Yes, a program maker, really. And that's quite a respected activity. Of course, I was never very strong on what you might call the entrepreneurial side. I suppose that's why I pulled this stretch.
You're doing 2 years for peddling filth, Blandy.
You may call it filth. I like to call it art, and I'll tell you what. I think it's a bit unfair that Ingmar Bergman and Andy Warhol and that Pastellini bloke get away with it, and I'm stuck away for 2 years for doing the same thing.
Well, we won't go into the artistic value of your work, Mr. Blandy. We want to know what you did with those video cassettes. If you help us, you know what that could mean.
What could it mean?
Commander?
Our recommendation carries a great deal of weight with the Home Office.
Out by Christmas?
Quite possibly.
Yeah. Yeah, wouldn't mind that. Off the record. Who are you after?
What do you mean?
Well, you're with this A10 outfit, aren't you?
What makes you think that?
Well, now, come on. You don't exactly look like a working copper, now, do you?
You can leave out, Phil. I found her.
Not just you.
What do you mean?
Your mate's in there somewhere.
Who, Lowson?
Ex-Superintendent Mackie.
Well, since when?
Since you left.
Well, you better push off.
I don't need any special fee to keep me trap shut, and you might need help.
Joe Mackie's no bogey, man.
Thanks a lot, Joe. I'll get the stuff moved before they raid the place.
I still can't find out who gave them the tip, Jack. I think it's got to be somebody in your lot.
Could be. A lot of these blokes in the game are born grafters. Still, I suppose that's the artistic temperament for you. Yeah. Cop that little lot. Little 500 nicker. Won't harm for your holiday money.
I should have thought you could do a little better than that, Jack.
Yeah, would you?
Well, you've still got the tapes in your place. It'd be a pity if the Dirty Squad decided to hit you this afternoon instead of tonight. Wouldn't give you time to wipe them, would it?
No. 1,000?
That's a bit more like it, Jack.
Sometimes I wonder why I came into this game. All right. Hang on a minute.
I understand. Well, sometimes you have to help people to help themselves. Just leave it to me. Hello, extension 8430, please. Inspector Lowson.
Lowson? Yes? Yes, just a minute. Yes. Yes, we've got that. Okay. Elvira. Name mean anything to you? Seems Lewis is round at that address, so we might find
We'll
something
keep
there.
this private, Lowson.
Lewis? Nick Lewis? What's he got to do with it? Nick Lewis. No, I've heard everything.
So what are you beefing about? We've got the tapes. You don't think any magistrate's going to believe a brass like that, do you?
Why did you do it, Joe?
Why did I do what?
I heard on the tape. It's a nice pickup for a morning's work.
So what's the matter with that? You've been over Blandy's place often enough yourself, haven't you?
Not with my hand in his till.
Oh, yeah. Simon Pure, that's you, isn't it? And where does it get you? You go out 60, 70 hours a week, turning over dirty underpants in some louse-ridden yobbo's pad, and you're lucky if you don't get a bottle in your face or a chip in your guts. And then you get him into court, and some bent brief pulls him out from under, screaming his head off about police brutalities. And you find yourself back in uniform or doing 18 months yourself. That's police work. And where does it get you? About as much as you can get heaving dustbins into the back of a truck.
Well, he could have got out, Joe. No need to go bent.
I have got out. I've got a good job where I am. I've got about 5 years to go before retirement and a damn good pension. Do you think they'll hold me on if they hear about this? Not on your life. And nobody's going to screw it up for me again.
I've got to take it off you.
Oh, come on. Now, listen, Nick, don't try it.
Because if I don't, I'm out of the job.
Well, so what? I can get you fixed up at my place. And for better than you're pulling now.
Well, I don't want that, Joe. I like doing the job. It's the only one I know. I felt like chucking it in, but if I do, then someone else has got to do the job. And maybe some kid's going to get murdered or crippled because that someone else doesn't do the job as well as me.
So you're a good copper?
Yes, I think I am. And I want to go on being a copper as long as I can. So you don't capture villains by sticking to judges' rules, Joe, but I'm never going to stick my hand in a till.
Good God. Look, what harm's it done to anybody? A few quid that Blandy can easily go without.
Well, if you don't know, I can't tell you. Now, I don't like it, but I'm having that cassette. And don't try and stop me taking it.
Lewis?
You're still under suspension, Lewis. I'll handle this. Go home, Lewis.
Joe, you taught me most of the things I know. Thanks.
You heard the commander, didn't you?